If you've ever watched a man suddenly become alert the moment a woman stops carrying the conversation, you've witnessed a small psychological panic dressed up as indifference. His phone is in his hand, his pride is on the line, and for the first time, he is not being entertained for free. That is the moment respect begins, not because she spoke louder, flirted harder, or proved her value like a contestant on a dating show, but because she withdrew labor. Conversational labor is still labor, and men respect what costs them something. Here's the hook you weren't warned about. Men don't respect women who chase conversations because chasing tells him something he will never forget. That silence scares you more than losing him. Once he senses that, the power dynamic is sealed. He can disappear mid-sentence, reply days later with a lowercase lol, or change the subject without warning, because you've already shown him you'll do the work of continuity. You'll patch the awkwardness. You'll rescue the momentum. You'll keep the interaction alive like a CPR nurse pumping air into a corpse. Men don't respect that. They feed on it. A man respects a woman who doesn't chase conversations because she forces him to confront something deeply uncomfortable. His replaceability. When a woman doesn't rush to fill gaps, doesn't double text, doesn't ask follow-up questions, like an anxious HR manager, he loses the illusion that he is the prize by default. He feels the silence as judgment, not spoken judgment, which men can dismiss, but implied judgment, which they can't argue with. Let's get something clear before the simps start sweating. This isn't about being cold or aloof or pretending you're too busy to type. That's amateur theater. Men smell fake indifference the way sharks smell blood. This is about genuinely not investing conversational energy where curiosity is not returned. It's about refusing to audition for attention. Men respect that because it mirrors how power actually behaves. Power does not chase. Power waits and watches who steps forward. Men chase conversations when they sense scarcity. They disengage when they sense abundance. The woman who chases conversations signals abundance of availability and scarcity of self-control. The woman who lets conversations die signals abundance of options and scarcity of tolerance. Guess which one commands respect? There is a reason men suddenly don't know what happened when a woman stops texting first. They knew exactly what happened. The environment changed. The invisible safety net was removed. The emotional training wheels came off. And now, the man has to pedal or fall. Most men hate pedaling. Here's where people get confused and start moralizing. They say, but communication is important. Of course it is. So is oxygen. That doesn't mean you chase someone around with an air tank begging them to breathe. Communication that is forced becomes maintenance. Maintenance kills desire. Men respect women who don't chase conversations because those women make communication voluntary again. Desire needs choice. Obligation suffocates it. Men are transactional whether they admit it or not. Every interaction answers a silent question. What does this cost me, and what do I gain? When a woman chases conversations, the cost to him is zero. He can be dull, distracted, late, or lazy, and still receive engagement. That teaches him that minimal effort yields maximum access. Men respect women who don't chase because they reintroduce cost. Suddenly, effort matters again. There's research that backs this up, even though watching men behave for a weekend would give you the same conclusion. A study published in the Journal of Experimental Social Psychology found that delayed responsiveness and selective engagement increased perceived desirability and status, particularly in early-stage interactions. Participants attributed higher value and confidence to individuals who did not immediately reciprocate conversational bids. In simpler terms, people respect those who don't rush to prove interest, men included, especially men. Now let's talk about why chasing conversations is so tempting. Silence feels like rejection. For many women, silence triggers anxiety, and anxiety demands action. Text him, ask a question, send a meme, anything to restore equilibrium. But here's the uncomfortable truth. The moment you act to relieve your own discomfort, you teach him that your emotional regulation is his entertainment. He can destabilize you with absence and watch you scramble. That's not respect. That's leverage. And you handed it to him. Men respect women who don't chase conversations because those women are emotionally self-contained. They don't need constant validation to feel secure. Men don't want to be emotional babysitters, but they are happy to be emotional beneficiaries. The woman who doesn't chase flips that script. She doesn't reward low effort with attention. She doesn't punish silence with panic. She simply continues her life. Men notice that immediately. It unsettles them. This is where the simps get angry. They call it mind games. They say it's manipulative. What they're really saying is that they benefit from women over-investing and feel threatened when that stops. Men who are used to being chased feel personally attacked when women develop standards. That reaction alone should tell you everything. A woman who doesn't chase conversations forces a man to reveal himself. If he's interested, he adjusts, he engages, he follows up. If he's not, the interaction dies quietly. Either outcome is efficient. Chasing conversations delays truth. It keeps mediocre men in circulation longer than they deserve. Men respect efficiency. They live by it. They just don't like it used against them. Here's a detail most people miss. Men don't actually enjoy women who carry conversations. They tolerate them. Enjoyment requires participation. When a woman does all the work, the man becomes passive. Passivity breeds boredom. Bored men don't respect the source of their boredom. They blame her for it. Men respect women who don't chase conversations because those women create a subtle performance pressure. He has to show up interesting, present, engaged. He has to invest. That investment creates attachment, not the other way around. Attachment follows effort. This has been observed in behavioral psychology for decades, long before dating apps turned everyone into a commodity. Now let's address the inevitable question. What if he doesn't come back? Good. That wasn't a loss. That was an exit interview without the paperwork. Men who disappear when you stop chasing were never respecting you to begin with. They were consuming you. There is a difference. Respect is stable. Consumption is impulsive. A woman who doesn't chase conversations is not trying to win every man. She's trying to filter them. Men respect filters because men use them constantly. They just don't like being filtered out. Notice how men speak about women who don't chase. They call them intimidating, cold, hard to read. That's not an insult. That's a confession. It means the woman is not easily manipulated. It means the usual tricks don't work. It means the man has to be intentional. Intention is effort. Effort creates respect. This is also why men will often test these women. They'll go quiet to see if she panics. They'll send something lazy to see if she picks it up and runs with it. When she doesn't, something shifts. He recalibrates. Or he leaves. Either way, the woman wins because she didn't overextend for a man who hadn't earned it. There is a certain dark humor in watching men complain about women who don't try. What they mean is that these women don't perform unpaid labor. They don't manage men's egos through constant engagement. Men respect women who don't chase conversations because those women refuse to mother them socially. And yes, women who can play this well earn my respect. Not because they are cruel, but because they are disciplined. They don't let anxiety dictate behavior. They don't let politeness override self-interest. They understand that attention is currency, and they don't hand it out like flyers on a street corner. Now, somewhere in the middle of this video, let me say this clearly. If you're trying to unlearn the habit of chasing conversations and failing in real time, that's exactly what one-on-one coaching is for. Patterns don't break because you understand them. They break because someone corrects you when you're about to repeat them. I offer coaching, and it's pinned in the comment section. The benefit isn't theory, it's timing. Knowing when to stop, when to wait, when to disengage without drama, and how to let silence work for you instead of against you. My landing page is done. It'll be in the description and pinned comment. Go there. Read the free PDF. Watch the free video. Subscribe to the newsletter. I offer discounts for coaching orders there. And if you're serious about changing how men respond to you, you already know why that matters. This is what my weekly newsletter looks like. This is where I sometimes say things that YouTube doesn't let me say. I'll be sending 3 weekly, and make sure to check under promotions or spam folder for my emails. Now let's go deeper, because this is where most people still sabotage themselves. Because silence is not emptiness. Silence is a mirror, and men hate mirrors that don't flatter them. When a woman stops chasing conversations, the man is left alone with his own contribution, or lack of it. He replays the exchange. He notices how little he offered. He notices that nothing came to rescue him. No follow-up question. No playful nudge. No emotional scaffolding. Just the quiet verdict of reality. Most men have never had to face that. They've been carried conversationally since adolescence by women taught to be agreeable, responsive, and endlessly curious about men who have done nothing to earn it. This is where respect is born. Not in affection, not in chemistry, in consequence. Men respect women who don't chase conversations because these women weaponize restraint. They understand that attention is not free, and silence is not neutral. Silence is pressure. It forces a man to decide whether he is interested enough to act. And action, not intention, is the only thing that matters. Let's dismantle a popular lie. Men don't lose interest because a woman is too quiet. They lose interest when they feel no tension. Chasing conversations kills tension. It flattens the emotional terrain. Everything becomes predictable. And predictability is where desire goes to die. Men respect women who don't chase because unpredictability returns. Not chaotic unpredictability, the kind that screams instability, but controlled unpredictability. The kind that says, I'm not here to fill space. I'm here if it's worth it. There's a cruel irony here. The women who chase conversations believe they are being kind, open, and emotionally intelligent. What they are actually doing is insulating men from effort. And insulated men do not grow attached. They grow lazy. Men don't respect what they don't have to work for. This is not bitterness. This is biology, conditioning, and centuries of reinforcement. Effort creates ownership. Ownership creates value. Value creates respect. When you chase conversations, you reverse the order and wonder why nothing sticks. Watch what happens when a woman stops asking questions. The man either steps forward or fades out. Both outcomes are information. Chasing conversations delays information. It keeps ambiguity alive like a parasite. Men respect women who don't chase because those women prefer clarity over hope. And clarity is dangerous. It kills fantasy. Men love fantasy when it benefits them. They hate it when it exposes them. There's a reason men accuse these women of playing games. Games imply rules. Rules imply fairness. What they really want is asymmetry. They want freedom without accountability. They want access without reciprocity. A woman who doesn't chase conversations quietly refuses that arrangement. She doesn't argue. She doesn't lecture. She simply withholds participation. That's what makes it powerful. No confrontation. No explanation. No emotional display to be dissected and dismissed. Just absence. Absence is the most misunderstood tool in human interaction. People think absence is passive. It's not. Absence is active pressure. It creates a vacuum, and nature hates vacuums. Men fill them with thought, with curiosity, with insecurity, with effort, or they walk away. Again, efficiency. This is also why men suddenly respect a woman after she pulls back, even if they didn't treat her well before. They didn't change. The environment did. Respect is situational. Remove the conditions that reward bad behavior, and watch behavior adjust or collapse. Men who respect women who don't chase conversations aren't noble. They're adaptive. They respond to incentives like everyone else. The woman who stops chasing changes the incentive structure. She makes disengagement costly. Now let's talk about ego, because that's the engine under the hood. Men's egos are fragile, but not in the way people think. They're not fragile because men need praise. They're fragile because men need to feel chosen. When a woman chases conversations, she removes the element of choice. He doesn't have to win her attention. It's already his. Men don't respect that. They exploit it. A woman who doesn't chase conversations restores the hunt. Not in a childish sense, but in a psychological one. The man has to initiate. He has to maintain. He has to contribute. That contribution creates emotional investment. Emotional investment creates attachment. Attachment creates respect. Men who say they want easy women confuse ease with access. What they actually want is ease of interaction, not ease of acquisition. There's a difference. Interaction can be light, playful, effortless. Acquisition should never be. When acquisition is easy, value drops. Men respect women who don't chase because they make acquisition intentional. This is where my disgust for simps becomes relevant. Simps tell women to over-communicate, over-validate, and over-invest. They call it emotional maturity. What they're really doing is lobbying for a world where men never have to earn anything, where women provide endless attention and men provide presence. That's not maturity. That's parasitism with better branding. Women who can resist chasing conversations are dangerous because they don't need approval to regulate their behavior. They don't interpret silence as rejection. They interpret it as data. Men respect data-driven behavior. They just don't like being the data set. And here's the part that will offend people who deserve it. If a man only shows interest when you pull back, that does not mean he suddenly realized your value. It means he noticed the cost increase. Markets respond to scarcity. Men are no different. Respect is not romantic. It's economic. This is why chasing conversations is such a losing strategy. You're inflating supply while demanding demand. It doesn't work. Never has. Never will. Now, a warning for the amateurs. Do not confuse not chasing with punishing. Punishment is reactive, not chasing is neutral. Punishment seeks to control, not chasing seeks to observe. Men can sense the difference immediately. Punishment invites power struggles. Observation invites revelation. A woman who doesn't chase conversations doesn't sit around waiting either. She redirects energy. She invests elsewhere. Her life continues. That's what makes the silence believable. Men respect women whose silence is full, not empty. If you're sitting there refreshing your phone while pretending to be detached, you're still chasing, just silently. Men feel that too. Detachment is not a performance. It's a consequence of priorities. This is why one-on-one coaching matters. Knowing not to chase is one thing. Learning how to rewire the impulse in the moment is another. In coaching, you're corrected when you're about to send the text. Ask the question. Fill the silence. You learn how to pause without panic. How to let discomfort pass. How to trust that what doesn't return was never yours to begin with. Again, the coaching link is pinned in the comments section and in the description. The landing page is live. Read the free PDF. Watch the video. Subscribe to the newsletter. That's where I offer discounts for coaching orders, and that's where I go deeper without having to be polite. And yes, pre-order the courses called The Feminine Game. They'll be released by May 30th. If you understand the theory but keep failing in execution, that course exists for a reason. Now let's finish this with precision. Men respect women who don't chase conversations because these women force men into alignment. Either align with her pace, her standards, her rhythm, or remove yourself. There is no middle ground of half effort and full access. Men thrive in clear hierarchies. Ambiguity lets them loiter. Clarity makes them choose. The women men remember are not the ones who talk the most. They're the ones who left space. Space for curiosity. Space for projection. Space for regret. A woman who doesn't chase conversations leaves an imprint because she doesn't explain herself into irrelevance. Men don't sit around missing women who were always available. They miss the ones who could walk away without announcing it. If this irritated you, good. Irritation is the beginning of attention. If this clarified something you already suspected, but didn't want to admit, even better. Subscribe if you like this video. You already know how this works. Commitment signals seriousness. So does consistency. And comment. I want to know where you've seen this play out. When did chasing conversations cost you respect? Or when did stopping change the dynamic? Say it plainly. Patterns emerge in public. Men respect women who don't chase conversations because those women don't beg to be chosen. They make men prove they deserve to choose. Welcome to the dark side of your mind, an armory disguised as advice. Everything here exists to give you clarity sharper than the games being played against you. The reading is where I dissect your situation with precision. What he meant, what he didn't, what you missed. About 1,000 words, plus one follow-up question to tighten the strategy. The case file is the full autopsy, a complete psychological breakdown in writing, plus a private audio message so you hear the parts most people avoid. One follow-up to lock it in. If you want speed, there's the whisper. 400 words. Direct. Unfiltered. No extra dialogue. If you prefer tone and voice, the weight of the message itself, the transmission gives you a private audio response. No follow-up. No hand-holding. And if your situation is messy enough for multiple angles, buy 2 services, and the third is free. Strategy rewards commitment. If you want the truth delivered publicly, without exposing yourself, There's the public whisper. One question, one strategic answer, posted for others to learn from. Short, clean, no follow-up. You already know why you're here. You ask your question, and within 72 hours, you get clarity most people never develop. Emotional discipline, psychological leverage, the ability to stop repeating patterns that drain you. The dark side of your mind isn't here to soothe you. It's here to change how you move.